Hey, I'm going to talk about today the Saw 4 movie. Last night they had advanced screenings in Australia because Australia's bloody fucking tasky. So we got 2 days extra than what the world did of seeing Saw 4, and I think that's just funny because, you know, Americans are always like, oh, it's Saw 4, you know, it's such a great movie. Well, we got to see it before you fuckers. Now I'm going to spoil it for you. The twist is you don't find out what the tape is in his stomach. That's the ending of the movie. The movie takes place between Saw 2 and 3. So, well, not between Saw 2, but like, you know in Saw 3, how it's got Jeff and that. Well, yeah? Well, anyways, during Saw 3, there's another task going on with Riggs, Officer Riggs. He's the black dude out of the second one. He had a bigger part in the second one than what he did in the third or first. I don't even think he was in the first. Well, anyways, so you got this bloke, and he's been, he wakes up to hear, like, his door open, and he doesn't get kidnapped, he actually stays in his apartment. So he stays in the apartment, he's like, he gets a tape saying, you gotta do all these things, you gotta see if people are right or not. So, he listens to the tape, and then, the first one is, the woman, that gets scalped. She's got her hair tied up to the back of the chair, and it pulls back really hard, and it rips off the skin of her head. She dies. She gets out of it, but she dies. He does save it, but she attempts to kill him. So basically, whoever he saves, Jigsaw's asked him to kill him. And the next one is he goes to a hotel. He finds a big fat prick who's a pedophile and rapes women, and he puts him in this bed chamber. He's like all chained up. And he has to pull a lever to gouge out his eyes, but he has to do one eye by one. And if he pulls the other one, and this big clamp around his head just goes, squash his fucking head to bits. So he's fucking dead, cause he pulled the wrong one. And I was in a cinema going, fucking prick, he should have died. He should die. But you know, that's me. I would have just put a bullet in his head. But then again, if he did that, he wouldn't be in a trap. Oh no, you wouldn't find out what the next one was. The next one after that, I think, off the top of my head, you find out more about Jigsaw in his past. He was actually a really good bloke. He opened up a clinic for sick people, like drug addicts and all the shit like that. And then, so what he does is, you know, opens up drug addicts, but one day, because his missus, Jill, is pregnant, and they get robbed, and the bloke that gets robbed is the one that, with the knives over his face, and he's got to push through, he cuts his face to bits, and what happens is, she's like, shit scared, she's behind the door, and when he runs out, he throws the door, hits her on the belly that's pregnant, and it kills the baby. Unfortunately for her, the baby's dead, which is really unfortunate. I mean, I'd kill a bloke too. So that's why he puts him in the knife trap. And he gets out of the knife trap, and his face is bleeding, like, his face is red, his arms are red because of all the blood, his shirt's red, and he goes, and he gets out of him, and he goes, oh, that's it, and he goes to tackle him, and he slips on his blood, and runs into a cage full of barbed wire, and he's like caught in it, and it's ripping his skin apart, and he's like, oh, fuck, it hurts. So yeah, and then at the end of it, in the last trap, my brother's keeper, which is possibly that and the knives are the best traps. Like, it's just so good. The bloke, you know, what is it? Eric Matthews is on one end and he's on a block of ice. When the block of ice melts, he gets hung, and it tilts down, and all the water that's melted stays in like a kind of little bath thing. And there's a wire, like an empty wire, connected to this high voltage security system, not security system, but something. And what will happen is it will make that electric, and the other dude on the other side is the other detective, and if he hits the wire, he fucking gets fried, and the other guy hangs. But what happens is Officer Riggs comes in, the detective or SWAT, whatever the fuck he is, comes in, opens the door, and they look up, and these two big ass blocks of ice are hanging there, and they say, so what happens is, with Eric Matthews, if he opens the door, it's going to go bang on his head. So he gives him a gun, he goes, if you see him coming, I'd shoot him, and he gives him a gun, one bullet. And he sees him coming, so he goes, bang, shoots the bastard. But he still opens the door, and then the two big blocks of ice go bang on his head, kills him, which was absolutely brilliant. Like, I was like, oh wow. And then and because he's half dead, he's already got his gun. And the dude goes, hey, he's aiming at the gun. He goes, don't fucking move. And he goes, hey, don't shoot me. You know, I'm not the one that organised this. I'm on something else. Just listen to me. And he shoots him through the head. And then oh no, before that, he pulls out tape, and that's when he shoots him, and he plays it. And I can't remember what's on the tape. I think it's like his mission or what's to do. I really can't remember actually. Yeah. But yeah, and the tape. Okay, this is what's on the tape from the autopsy. He cuts open his stomach, right? Cuts it open. It's open up. Pulls out the tape, and he plays it. It's actually calling for the detective, and the detective becomes the new Jigsaw. The one that he melted. Remember when in the third one he pours the wax on it? That's the one he melted. He puts it on there, and yeah. So basically, the twist at the end is that this has already happened. This is a kind of like a prequel. It happened during Saw 3. So in Saw 3, Jeff wasn't the only trap that was going on. It was also Officer Riggs' one, and it was trying to prove who he thought was innocent, guilty, kind of as Jeff did. It's a lot more like what's that show? The first one, you know, the big twist where he wakes up. You think he's the one that's, you know, that's Jigsaw, but it's not. Jigsaw wakes up, and the dude. And see, but the detective's in this seat, you know, with the electrocute. He just undoes it. Undoes his hand ones, undoes the other one, undoes his feet, undoes his mouth mask, and he goes, I'm the actual one, Jigsaw. You thought it was that bloke, you just killed the wrong person. And then he, as he walks out, he goes, game over. And that's when it goes straight to the next one, right? So it goes to the next one where Jigsaw's body is. Like, you know, we're on the autopsy table, and he goes, you know, and go tape, and that's when they play the tape, and he goes, if you're listening to this, this means your time has come or something. He goes, you think it's over, but someone else will take over, and that's when it starts. So basically the tape is about Saw 5, not Saw 4, which is an ingenious twist. I mean, I didn't see that coming, and if you say you did, you're a liar, because no one could find that coming. Well, anyways, what I thought about the movie? Brilliant. It was so good. The traps were so ingenious. They were gruesome, but they were gruesome to a point, whereas the third one, they were just fucking terrible. They were just so, ugh. Like the rack, that was terrible. But even his foot at the start, I can't stand that part. But yeah, brilliant. If you're a fan of Saw, go and see it. If you're going to complain about this and ain't really care, you're just wasting your time, I won't listen. But yeah, I'll probably laugh at you. So that's the first review of Saw 4 ever. I was also the first person to get a ticket to it. Have a good one.